Wait. Hello,
Hey, there he is.
how are you?
Good, good. How are you doing?
All good. Hello, everyone. It's good to see your faces. I think it makes it more personal. My name is Aldo. I'm from Mexico. I've been living in Vancouver, Canada for 4 years and a half around. I moved here because I was hired to work in the animation industry in a studio called Icon. So I've been working in that studio ever since. Okay, so hopefully it's working nicely. One of my biggest struggles when I was studying animation was about timing and understanding that principle. And I think that, uh, at least in my perspective, is one of the most important, if not the most important, principle of animation. And it takes a while to really understand and dig in what does it needs to be good. Also, another concepts that are connected to it, that in this case will be force and the rhythm. So I will say that when you are more aware of how does this work, how do you play around with your time, how you play with the poses, then is when you start also making that illusion of force, of energy. Like when you hold a pose hold an object for like 2-3 frames here, and then in just one frame, like move to the other side, and automatically it will feel fast. At the same time that in the contrary, you take like 20 frames for like a pose to become from one to another, is gonna make the opposite reaction. It's gonna make the feeling that is something slow. So I will say, like, when you play around with these values, what you're gonna end up doing is you're gonna be ended up making the illusion of something fast, something slow, something heavy, someone stronger, someone faster, those values. And that's what I'm gonna explain in the next one. That energy or that force is what makes like an animation snappier or cartoony, or like sharp, the timing and everything. And at the end of the day is just like playing around with those values that I just explained before. So I just wanted to show some examples of different ways of approaching this energy in different shows. At the end, these animators are already very aware of how timing and spacing works. So I just write here down that you can't just accelerate and decelerate things arbitrarily. You really have to know why are you taking those decisions when you are approaching the animation. And I already said this, but is the element that drives the action to happen. This character just have half of the body, so almost all the actions during the movie is with his hips, and is the main thing that is moving around. And they put that kind of like costume on top to be in disguise, and like no one knows that he's just like half of the body. But you can see that when they are animating, like what is leading the action is the hips, and they are sitting. There's a saying in animation that says that everything is a bouncing ball, and is all interconnected in terms of when you are actually attacking a shot, and you have to see those things as bouncing balls, because yeah, it's true. So rhythm. Okay, is like, what do you mean with rhythm? Like music or like sounds, or a Dragon Ball? I used to watch it when I was a kid, and the sound effects of Dragon Ball are very iconic, and I will say that this whole sound design is very nice. I think I was blown away in a way of how do they use the sound to make the emotion more dynamic, and like to sell the intention of a lot of the actions. So I will say that in my early years, when I was just drawing or imagining stories, I always kind of like have sounds interconnected with those things that I was imagining. and my family is surrounded by music a lot. So I will say that I have a very particular connection with music in a way of also tackling my shots with the sound, very kind of like having an important part of the development. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about music in this part because I think it's very important for my point. So for me, music is not like a collection of random notes. It has a structure. It's like has a meaning, and when they write the songs and when they compose the songs, they all have like they really think about how do they process all that information, because at the end of the day, it's information they are like sharing to an audience. Yeah. So the point of like showing that melody is just to know that in like a song, or I'm not a 100% musician, but of course like it has a structure, it has like pauses, like moments to make the people understand what is happening, and it's like, okay, now it's like a silence, so that helps the audience also processing stuff. It's the same as animation. And also if you can see like the notes are, of course they are in different like levels, because each note has a different kind of like grade. Or what I'm saying is like it looks like random or but it's more organic. It looks organic, but at the same time that makes it very like fluid and natural. It's like it flows. At the end, what it makes it interesting is that structure that has, and like those pauses, that intensity, the notes, the order of it, that what it make it rich. So yeah, just to finish with the rhythm, as I already said, but try to look for not linear motion, not linear time, not linear space, and like try to find that rhythm by yourself. And I think that's something that it takes time. And I think that's probably what like animators usually take a lot of years to master in timing and spacing. Is like, how do we make those motions feel better, nicely, smoother? And it's part of that eye that you have to craft and you have to develop. Yeah, for example, in this part, I really wanted to sell that motion of fast piece. So there's a lot of course, you have to really know the principles of animation. It's just not making noises. Of course, you have to understand what it is involving, but at the end, like I think like what it makes the rhythm work is, at least in my head, it was like that connection that I have with the sound effects of it. So in this case, I remember I had this like slower, and when I play it, and I was doing the boom effect in my head, the sound already was like boom, already finished, and the animation was still going. So I was like, no, this needs more like sharp timing. That when you kind of master already the way of making your own timing, making your own rhythm, automatically that helps you when you have to animate a shot very based in like for example, a video reference. That is very different sometimes that this example that I just showed, that is more like an idea that you block out from your head and you don't need that much of a reference. But when you do that moments, you also, knowing this, it also helps you to break your reference and make it more interest and kind of like detach your animation from the video reference.
감사합니다.
네.
감사합니다.
네.
감사합니다.
또 봐요.
감사합니다.
또 봐요.
감사합니다.
네.
You're welcome.